And hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Before we get into today's video, make sure you drop a like on this video and subscribe to the channel for more Celtic content. So you could say that the fallout from Tuesday night is continuing amongst the Celtic fan base after a lot of them are voicing their displeasure for the lack of ambition and maybe financial backing that the club have received from the hierarchy, from the likes of Peter Lawwell and obviously the highest individual shareholder, Dermot, Desmond. Now, I will discuss the Celtic fan base reaction a bit later on in this video because I quickly do want to go over the Rangers Football Club, because whenever we feel down as Celtic fans about maybe our own performances across Europe and domestically as well, there's always Rangers to cheer us up in a way with their own poor performances. Now, on Saturday, we had a very disappointing result against Motherwell. I thought we were overall the better side. We dominated the game, but maybe just lacked the final end product to convert our chances, and therefore we drew 1-1 at Motherwell. So, following that disappointing result, Rangers had a chance there to move within 3 points to second place, just behind Celtic if they won the other game in hand that they had. But they went to Pataudry and had a disaster display and only just managed to get a point with a controversial 94th-minute penalty, which James Tavernier ultimately converted. Now, on Tuesday, as you mentioned, it was a very poor result for us against Lazio, a 2-0 defeat. And then fast forward to last night, Rangers were facing Aris Limassol at home at Ibrox, and they only managed to muster up a draw again, a 1-1 draw against the worst-ranked Europa League team in the campaign this season. Now, this is obviously following their disappointing 2-1 defeat away from home against this team as well. So, quick want to say thank you to Rangers Football Club for maybe cheering up a lot of the Celtic fans after our own disastrous display in Europe by outshining us again and doing a lot worse in a way really as well, because they lost to the worst team in the Europa League and then drew again at home to them. So thank you, Rangers, for that. Now let's discuss our own misery here a little bit, our own situation when it comes to European football, because despite Rangers obviously being poor as well, we still got to focus on ourselves. If you guys do want to watch more reaction to that Rangers results, watch our first video from today, as there's a lot of Rangers fan meltdowns in that video, and it's worth a good watch and listen because it is pretty funny. So let's discuss our own situations. As we mentioned, Peter Lawwell, and Dermot Desmond are getting a lot of stick online now from the Celtic fan base for their lack of ambition and a lack of funding that took place in the transfer window. Now, when Brendan Rodgers arrived at the club this summer for a second stint, he made it clear that he wanted to break kind of maybe the curse of our own European football, our curse in the most recent years of our poor European football displays, by investing heavily in the transfer market, getting the quality players in through the door and making a real go at the Champions League group stage and trying to progress into the round of 16. Now, of course, that hasn't happened. The funds that was promised to him when he joined the club haven't really been shown in the transfer window so far. We had a lot of players come through the doors, but a lot of Celtic fans would have hoped and expected really higher quality players and maybe higher price tags attached to their names when they came through the door at Celtic Park. Now, of course, they haven't all been bad. A lot of them are for the future, which is cool, but it's not really helping our current situation out when it comes to European football. Domestically, obviously, we are okay. We are still relatively comfortable, I suppose, especially with Rangers bottling their chances to close the gap. But we want to really make an impact in European football, and that's not really happened this season again, has it? So, shout out to Luis Palma. For me, obviously, probably the only sign I think that's really made an impact. A lot of the other ones are just squad players and stuff like that. Yang's been okay, but not a first-team starter, whereas I think Luis Palma's really nailed himself into the team on a consistent basis right now. But we need more of those signings anyway, and that could have just been luck as well. He's not exactly a massive name, is he, Luis Palma? But he's been good since he came through the door. But, yes, as I mentioned, a lot of fans are disappointed with this situation, especially aiming that frustration towards Peter Lawwell and Dermot Desmond. So we had a torrid time in Europe this season, managing just 1 point and now confirmed an exit with 1 game left to play. So obviously a good result against Atletico Madrid at home, but then that was followed by a 6-0 pump-in by them in Madrid. So take it as what it is. But yeah, So this is what some fans have had to say on the situation on Twitter, which I'll read out for you now. So this Hoop fan slammed their tenure as desperate and dull, and is adamant that the club will not progress whilst they remain at the club. He tweeted, "It is desperate and dull, nowhere near the required standard. If fans don't make a stand, it's only going to get worse. Desmond and Lawwell dragging the club backwards is brutal to watch." Another supporter has called for fan ownership of the club to put an end to this nepotism at Celtic Park. He tweeted, "Lawwell sucking the life from the club once again, given that verminous Desmond has put nothing into the club for decades. It's very clearly time for fan ownership to end the gravy train of nepotism." This supporter has spotted that Desmond and Lawwell managed to suffer 6 games a season of getting rinsed in Europe, but their frequent title wins are enough to keep sections of fans on board. Too many happy clappers waiting on Lawwell and Desmond making jokes about Rangers, penalty decisions or bids from unknown source. Our board need overhauled. Bowling club mentality who are only interested in being 1 point better than our rivals and then banking the dividends. The problem is most of our fans accept keeping them at arm's length, lap up Champions League money, then moan for the 6 games we get rinsed, win the league and repeat again. Too many people are in "we're better than them" camp. They're the reason we stand still. One fan accused the pair of doing the bare minimum to stay ahead of Rangers and claimed Celtic European ambitions are insignificant to them. Lawwell, Desmond and co have wasted the last 20 years in Europe for us. Absolute parasites that have wasted all those years and Champions League money just so we can be a ball hair in front of a terrible Rangers side. Parasites out, sack the board. This fan is eager for a total club overhaul at the board level if supporters want any chance of real change. Nothing will change until Desmond and Lawwell are gone. The club needs gutted and fumigated throughout. Time for fan ownership. This fan singled out Lawwell for making vast sums of money during this time at the club and criticised members of the fan base who have accepted it. Lawwell has become a multi-millionaire at Celtic. Desmond has rewarded him for lording it over the Ibrox franchise and utter failure in Europe. As a support, we either roll over and accept, or there are going to be apologists who applaud it for the fear of going bust. It's like early 80s again. So a lot of fans obviously voicing their displeasure online, and rightfully so. But let me know what you make of this situation. Are you in agreement with a lot of the Celtic fan base that Lawwell and Desmond need to leave the club? And what do you make of what do you make of a fan ownership situation? Would that be something that would interest you as a Celtic fan? Let us know down in the comment section below. Hopefully the quality is a little bit better with the lighting again. I mean, it's dark outside, but I've got a ring light thing here as well, so hopefully it's better quality. But yeah, let us know your thoughts on this situation down in the comment section below. That brings us to the end of today's video, guys. Make sure you drop a like on this video and subscribe to the channel for more Celtic content. Thank you, take care, bye bye.